Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Hitchcock, and for world literature, my video presentation is about the Chinese novelist Liu E. Liu E is a Chinese novelist and linguist who was born on October the 18th, 1857, and died August the 23rd, 1909. He was born in Liu E, Jiangsu, China, and died in Duihe, Xinjiang, China. He was famous for his different business adventures and for his role in Chinese politics. His father was a well-known government official. As a young boy, Liu E was known as being wild and rebellious, and this natural streak that was in him led to his outlandish political views later in life. He became famous early on for his gift and advanced knowledge of flood control throughout the river valleys of China. This advanced knowledge of flood control led him to be in an advanced position and influence in Chinese politics. He joined a religious group who combined Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism in his 20s, where he tamed some of his wild oats, so to speak. Throughout his 20s is when his famously failed business adventures plagued him with financial debt and loss of credibility as a businessman in China. Some of those business adventures included practicing Chinese medicine, at which point he did not have a single patient. He also tried to enter the Chinese civil service, but gave up on the exams that were necessary to be accepted. Liu E's third business adventure came when he tried to bring the first lithographic printing press to China, but he was soon sued and spiraled into bankruptcy from the ensuing lawsuit. In 1888, Liu E's luck finally changed, with his ideas to control flooding throughout China. He contained great knowledge in floods, and he went to work for the Director General of the Yellow River Conservancy, who is the leader of flood control for that area and for that river. Liu E's success was also in part by his rejection of the conventional thought of an official, which means that he was willing to work alongside the other Chinese laborers. And with this hands-on type approach, Liu E was very good at keeping up with the progress of the project, and he was good at micromanaging his employees and laborers to the point where the projects were done quicker than they ever have been done before. He was so well respected from his endeavors in flood control that he was soon appointed and became a high-ranking advisor on flood control in China. Now that Liu E had entered politics at this point in time, they were torn between keeping traditional Chinese culture and embracing Western European culture, who they were doing business with on a daily basis. Liu E had different views, though, and he insisted that China needed to modernize their commercial and industrial industries to become a world power and not need to rely on other countries. Liu E became disgusted by the fact that none of his fellow officials listened to his out-of-the-box ideas about the modernization of China. He was so disgusted by not being able to make any headway in politics that he soon resigned. After leaving politics, Liu E began on another business venture that was unfortunately also unsuccessful. They were meant to be ideas that would help modernize China, such as a coal mine that never opened, a department store a steam cotton mill, a mechanized silk weaving plant, a steel refinery, a waterworks plant, and a streetcar line that unfortunately all failed. Finally, in 1904, Liu E found his stride and found literary success in China. He started working on The Travels of Liu Can. It was Liu E's most critically acclaimed novel, and it was very popular because of how critical it was on the social workings and the culture in 19th and 20th century China. The novel attacked the corrupt Chinese government and questioned ancient Chinese traditions and their culture and society. In The Travels of Liu Can, the main character, who is called Liu Can, is a traveling medical practitioner and sees China as being a sinking power in Asia and the world. Liu Can decides to travel around China and see if he can fix China's problems. Liu Can attempts to correct injustices that seem to be plaguing the local people all over China. He also tries to change the outlook Chinese custom has on women and engage with high-ranking officials about China's future and the culture and social changes that need to be made for the better. Throughout the travels of Liu Can, the reader can see that the novel is actually a very close representation of Liu E's own life, in which drew great attention of the Chinese government. Though his book was successful, it did not bring success and happiness to Liu E. He was very critical of his Chinese government and of Chinese customs, at which his government was still very deeply rooted. The government officials were still steeped in Chinese tradition and did not want to live